Welcome to Funnance, where your money becomes fun. I hold a master's degree in finance and did nothing with it professionally, but I used the concepts I learned to build wealth and economic freedom. I started this channel to help you do the same. Each video is a short explanation of a topic and how you can apply its concepts to your wallet, followed by a case study from my investing experience. I'm not selling you anything, but giving you knowledge. Welcome to one of the first episodes on Funnance, which is just setting up your bank account. Now, I know, and your retirement brokerage account, I know 99% of you have a bank account already, but let's go back to the thesis of what Funnance is. I find finance fun. I was an art school grad who went to grad school for finance, used those principles and the lessons I've learned over life to accumulate wealth and to get comfortable, to have a little bit of economic freedom. And that's what I'm trying to do for you. And it's not a get rich quick. I'm not selling you anything. It's funny. I mean, I know people who are in the finance industry and they're paycheck to paycheck. So they're not applying finance, which is this, the equation I should have put up for every episode. If you're applying this simple rule of finance, your money should be making money for you. And with time being the great equalizer, I know I use that term a lot, but it is, with compounding interest and the like, you will get to a good point. So what I'm trying to do is help you to get there. So we're breaking up every episode into, a little lesson on an instrument or concept and then a case study. So if you want, you can just fast forward to the case study of what I did and was able to make some money and still making money from that action. Or you can just stick around, because the thing is with bank accounts, I keep on adding them. For different reasons. So this is a screenshot of my phone. This is just some of the bank accounts I have, over 20. And you go, why would you ever have so many? Why would you want them spread out? And there's a bunch of reasons. But probably the main reason is just that if you are growing as a person, as a financial estate, you will just need to have these different accounts, whether it's a business account, personal account, high yield savings account, brokerage account, a crypto account. I have 3 crypto account wallets, or even going from job to job and you're having a different 401k and they're going to set you up with a different provider than the one that you had at your last job. So let's dive into the accounts. You really just want to start off with a checking account. That's the first step. Now the checking accounts are a little weird, because here we'll look at some that, you want something that's free, that does a low minimum. The problem with these is that they don't have much physical presence, and physical presence, I know I sound like a good grandpa, but you do need a physical presence, a lot of times. Actually, I mean, times of importance. And let me tell a story, quickly on just one of those times. Buying the house that I'm in right now, the biggest purchase of my life, low 6 figures payment that you had to wire to a escrow or a title company. I forget what it was. Tried to do that online. Error. This is with a major bank too. And I'm in a city. I'm in Miami. And we were supposed to get the keys that night. It was Friday. Everything was closed. You closed on the deed or whatever. And I couldn't get the money over there to get the keys to then go that Saturday, which is something I'll talk about another time, which is a great feeling in life. I hope we all get there with the lessons that we learn here. So I had to run to the bank. It was 10 minutes away. I sped there. I ran in, and like I said, it was about 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, whenever it closed. Sat down with a banker, and they calmly did it all. And I was like, why are you not freaking out? I'm so freaking out right now. But everything worked out. And I don't think if I didn't have that physical bank, I mean, I would have got on customer service or something like that. And who knows what would have happened. And I might not have been in the house, for another week or so, or whatever. So, I like to look for a physical location. You might have to, you have to weigh your your situation. If you only have a couple $100 and you want to put it in there, go with one of these um, uh, cheaper ones. Or if you find one that has somewhat, we're looking. Capital One has a physical presence, and this looks pretty good. Chase has a very small minimum there that looks pretty good too. So that's where I would start there. Also, I'm doing this for people who are just starting out, just to go step by step into this. And my first paychecks were cash, so I would take the cash or a paycheck, and I would take it to the bank and deposit it. So that's probably what you're going to do, and start building up some funds there. I still see that today, depending on what industry you're in. You have some cash, you need to go up to the teller and or the machine and deposit it. So that's step one. If you need help actually starting that, it's all done with your social security number. I think that's all you need, really, your address, your email and phone number. But then after that, let's look into retirement brokerage accounts. Most retirement custodians are brokerage accounts like Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, I believe Interactive Brokers, and it might just be brokerage, but you would want to try to get one with retirement products, because that's going to be the next step, is at least opening one up, and that's for tax purposes. So that's going to be a later video. I think it's going to be the next video, just because, again, that's my progress into where I am now. I don't think anyone should just jump into what I'm doing, and that's maybe what the Wall Street Bets kind of thing is a little deceiving, is that people are jumping into options without knowing everything else. We'll get there. I've successfully bought options, and that will be a video, and I'll probably just buy one on camera. We can watch it in real time. Okay, so same thing, social security number, email, you set up your retirement account. If you did those two things today, you're on your way. It's fantastic. You really are. You're on your way, and you'll get a bank card in the mail, or another thing, you can go to the physical location, open up the account, which I've done too for my business account and my joint account with my wife. So very quickly, there is high yield savings accounts now, because we are in a period of high interest. So there's a lot of online only accounts giving 5% out of, not even in CDs, just as the savings account. You can do that if you want. I don't know if they have the checking capabilities. I would just stay with one of the ones that we went through. And again, you can always change. That's the one thing that's great with this. And we're going to do a whole video on high yield savings and starting one of those accounts. The account, my point being is that, like, I have a high yield savings account, and it takes 4 days sometimes to move money in and out, which is crazy. Which is not so the case with my regular checking account. I hope it doesn't sound glib, but the choosing the bank, this shouldn't be that big of a. I like something that's local, that's a name brand. But you look at the other things you want to look at is the overdraft fee, the minimum balance, the ATM network, the fees, if there's foreign transaction fees or any of that kind of stuff. But and of course, people would say the savings rate, but they're all going to be. That's not where we're going to be getting that big that big rate of return. It's going to be from other things that we're going to link our checking account to. Go with one of the major banks, have it around the block, set up your account, link it to your retirement, your brokerage retirement account, your credit cards, your payroll, get all set up. And we'll move on. I mean, even my personal bank, they offered, this is years ago, this is now 2016, 2015, they had a brokerage connection with the checking account, and I had to apply for it. I had to fill out a test. It was like 30 pages of written questions. the commissions were $10 just so I can have that connected to my checking account. And I made a lot of trades with that, but yeah, $10, and then it went down to I think $3, and then $2, and now they just I think last year or 2 years ago opened up a commission-free brokerage account again, just from the checking account. All you had to do is press a couple buttons on the app. So I feel like even now, if I wanted to do a trade in that commissioned app or that brokerage account, I still have to pay a $3 or $4 commission. I'm probably the only one that is still in there. Okay, so once you set up your checking account and you have your brokerage retirement account, you did your day's work, link everything together. Congratulations. And this is, we're on our way to hopefully eventually becoming comfortable. I'll tell you what rich people do. I have a little exposure. Usually right now, rich people have, I'm talking about bank accounts. You have your tier relationship account, as I think they call it, Citi Gold, Chase Private Client. I think a lot of them use private client vernacular. And you need to have a threshold. So I have that with my brokerage account. That's why you might have said, like, why would you have your brokerage account connected to your checking account? Well, I'm in a nice relationship tier. I think it's over 200,000. You're in one, over $1 million, and you're in another. And usually rich people do that just because you have better customer service, and they actually pay you, besides interest, to be a part of it. I'm part of one that gives gift cards, $200 rebates, subscriptions. I think it goes up to $400, and we'll go into all that good stuff there. But yeah, that's what if you met a rich person right now who has a few $1 million, they usually, well, it depends on obviously their situation, but they usually will have their high tiered relationship account, have all their investments, and then maybe a few high yield savings accounts, if they were smart, up to the FDIC threshold, but they probably have 2 or 3 million in each one. But hey, we're going to get there. It's going to be a problem we're going to have soon. Okay, so we have that. We got the accounts. And yeah, I'm just going to finish up with a little story, and then we'll go into the case study, the You Did Whaaa section. Which, here we are talking about rich people. Kind of, again, this is one of the beginning videos. You might be like, I don't know, what this is. I want to get super rich. You will get there. It's just, you need a little patience. But one of my stories, and this goes to the whole thesis of making this stuff fun, is that I grew up poor. I grew up, like I was just saying, working at a nursery was one of my first jobs. Hauling bags of mulch and dirt, and coming down to Miami, it's very eye-opening because there's so much money here, and there's so much access, and that's a good word because this is 2015, just came down, and it was 4th of July, and my wife and her friends were at the Ritz Carlton. Right outside the Ritz Carlton. It's a public beach. There's Hallover Beach, and there's a big fireworks display there. But Ritz Carlton had high security because obviously it's 4th of July and there's a lot of people around there. So it's just like you can imagine, guys in suits. It wasn't just like a person just checking ID cards. They were seeing what you were bringing in, everything like that. And of course, if you were a guest there, well, my wife fiance at the time had to pee, and so she said, I don't think we're gonna get in there. I started looking around to all the people who were getting into the Ritz Carlton on 4th of July, and I said, okay, follow me, let's go. And she said, all right, let's see. I was like, the worst that can happen is we get kicked out, right? It's fine. So I said, okay, now take out your phone and just be angry. Just pretend you're on the phone and something didn't go right. So I did the same thing. I got on my phone, and as we were walking past security, we acted like we didn't see him, and I yelled something like, "Oh God, 80,000 in landscaping, and that's what I get." and she yelled out something silly, croutons, the dinner's ruined. And I swear we got in to the bathroom. They looked at us and they said, "Oh, these are people who belong here because they're miserable, and so they must be rich." And so we went in, and I don't know. I kind of like said to myself, "That's a little sad." But then whenever you put on Kardashians or anything like that, you see they're miserable. So I just want to now fast forward that to it was Ultra the next year. Ultra is this big festival, EDM, electronic dance music, and I had a buddy over, and we were just drinking beers, watching it online during the day, during a Saturday, at my beach condo, which was $2,000 a month, which could be a lot or it could be a little from where you are. To me, it was right, okay, but I was amazed at looking down at the pool and the beach and just being there. And my friend, who was a little of a he's a what's the right word? He's a little stiff, and he was saying, "Oh, I can never be like those people taking all those crazy drugs and dancing and whatever." And I said, "Oh, no, I could do it, but it sounds cheesy, but this is my drug. This is being able to look at this pool down here, being able to breathe and not worry about money, knowing that my money is working for me." And this was almost 10 years ago. So much better off now. And again, my parents didn't give me anything. No one gave me anything. I begged people for a job. But that was my drug, was feeling okay, feeling that there's that finance equation again, the time value of money. Things are only going to get better, and that's what I want to do for you. So I want you to not get into the Ritz Carlton bathroom. I want you to be so happy and have fun with this that you have those moments. And sorry, you'll have to go pee somewhere else. All right, let's go into You Did What? This case study of You Did What is my purchase of Broadcom stock in July 2018. I was working an office job, had my app open. I was looking at different market movers. You can go to CNBC, see the market movers, and Broadcom under the ticker AVGO, which is the company that bought Broadcom, or Broadcom bought. I don't know. The story is what I knew is that Broadcom was a very active player in acquisitions. If you look at their Wikipedia page, it's just one acquisition after the other. I've been following the company. I knew a little bit about it. I was obviously a tech chip maker, designer of chips that were in iPhones, that were in Raspberry Pis, that were in a lot of things. This is 2018, so the Internet of Things was very popular. Trendy thing. And if you looked at the financials, I mean, they were fantastic. They had just been rejected to buy Qualcomm because it would have been the biggest deal. And I think there was anti-trade or anti-competitiveness cited as the reason why that didn't go. So Broadcom had the cash. Broadcom was looking to make a deal, and they did one. And the Wall Street reacted by selling the stock, and that was buying Computer Associates, CA. CA Technologies is a long veteran of enterprise consulting, enterprise of technology provider solutions, and a Long Island company. And I'm from Long Island. Everyone knows about CA for good or bad reasons. Charles Wang started the company with someone else, and he had bought the New York Islanders before he passed away. And it was down 10 to 15%, something like that. I mean, it was at 240 something the day before, and now they were trading around 205, 206. I think I bought it at 204. So the lesson is that there was no bad news. It was just that they were acquiring CA. So you would say, why would the Wall Street react in such a way? Because they were thinking, oh, they're not getting into, what is this? This is the diversion from their core business. This doesn't play into their business model. Maybe it was just also they wanted a good business or they saw an opportunity somewhere. This was just a few hours reaction from Wall Street, where I was thinking, man, they must have had consultants, internal and external, lawyers, bankers, of course, their leadership, their board looking at this. And if it didn't make sense in any way, well, I mean, it probably, I don't know how to put this. It was an overreaction. It wasn't like it was Elon Musk or someone who had, or Mark Zuckerberg or the Google partners who had such voting rights that they just were on a whim and, did something. This was something that was not negative, and the Wall Street was reacting negatively to it. So, yeah, they had the money to buy. They were buying it. Even if my thinking was also, even if it was a bad deal, I would hope that Hock Tan, the CEO, and their board and their management would pivot and go, we messed up, and go back to the core business and what was really making the money. So pull the trigger. The lesson is that sometimes, Wall Street freaks out, and this is times where you buy your dip, especially if it's something like this, especially if it's something that is something that you were on your shopping list for a long time that has a strong dividend. Broadcom, I think that was the sealer. It wasn't a dividend trap because it wasn't going down. It was just reacting to the news. But with that news, the dividend was at like 6 or 7%. And they're like an aristocrat where they have a long history of meeting that dividend and increasing that dividend. So there's going to be others. Look out for them. Be vigilant. Use the app. Have fun. Study companies. It's fun just to even know Broadcom and the fact that it's in an iPhone. What does the person walking down the street know anything about Broadcom? They don't know anything. So it's fun learning about these companies and the future, especially now that we're going into AI and the like. So look around. There's usually once a week a dip in this regard where it's no negative news, no bad news. It's just something, and Wall Street freaks out, and this is the time to buy. And at that time, I was paying crazy commissions, so I bought it all at once. Now, buy some today, buy some tomorrow, buy some next week. If you think that you're emotional or too eager or too sad, whatever it is. So yeah, look out. There's going to be more. What are some examples? This is tough to say, and I think people roast me and a lot of things. It's to the point of where that overreaction. But yeah, if Nvidia bought Accenture, I think they have the balance sheet that they can do that. If Apple bought Paramount, no one wants Paramount, but if Apple was like, we want that for our app, I could see the street freaking out because Paramount's losing money. Sony buying Hasbro, things like that, where they're kind of in the periphery industry. Wall Street will probably be like, hey, what are you doing? And that's your time to bounce. So use the app, look around you, look at your phone, what's in your phone, and take up arms, take up action when you see those opportunities. And then, look at the chart now. I've been enjoying this dividend since 2018, probably for the rest of my life. Just been adding to the position over time. Now it's crazy, but it was one of the best investment decisions of my life. And hopefully we can find some of these together, and you can find some on your own in what you're into. So look for it. All right, that's the episode. Please subscribe, like, and comment any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in a future episode. Log on to Funnance.com to learn more, and let's have fun with finance.